we really struggled to stay together. We lived in a tent that we would fold up and put in a tent bag, and we would move every few weeks. We would find $20 on the street and we would go get fish and chips. I think it was Christmas Eve, and we had no money. We had no idea of how we were going to eat the next day. And my mom decided to go in the fancy dress competition to try to win some money. But somehow God always provided. I had a hard time at school. I was teased a lot and I was bullied a lot. I was very skinny, just naturally very skinny. My mom signed me up for this talent show, TV, which was really scary and embarrassing. But my friend and I from the school band, we went and sang the same song and we got on this show. All of a sudden, I went from being this girl at school that was skinny
to a star.
Not to a star, but I did 2 commercials for America, one for Coca-Cola and one for eggs. Well,
Okay.
I was so inexperienced, I didn't realize they were going to come out in Australia as well.
Wow.
And they came out on the same night in Australia. So because we only had 3 channels, everybody saw them because they came on. So then the next day when I went to school, everybody was coming up to me. When you are in a dire situation, when things are pretty bad, if you stay with the bad, you become frozen and you can't move forward. So you have to
You pull yourself on that.
stay above water and stay positive and try to believe in the universe and believe that everything is meant to be and it's going to all work out. And so that's what I'm trying to do with the songs, is keep people like, it's okay, put one foot in front of the other, it's all going to work out.
Wait a minute, you're saying you're friends from 20 years with Catherine?
20 years, yeah.
Oh.
And we used to get together, and my friend Catherine, my friend Charlie, who's a girl, and myself, and we would get together and make vision boards and write our goals. And bit by bit, all of our dreams are coming true. A lot of people from Ukraine write to me and say, thank you so much for making this song. And I said, how did you find it? And they said, a friend sent it to me. And then another one said another friend sent it to them. And they would say, I lost someone in Ukraine, or my brother is in Ukraine fighting, or, and so,
So hey everyone, welcome back to CreateYourYears.in podcast. I am Ajay Tambid, the host and producer of this show, and today I have with me on this show an actress, model, a popular singer-songwriter, filmmaker, film director, but more importantly, today I have with you a girl whose mother was seized from her at age of 4, a girl with her 2 siblings posed into hard farm labor work at age of 4, and after that same girl went on becoming the popular singer songwriter. She then became model, then she became an actress, then filmmaker, and lots of things she did, and worked with top artists in Hollywood, in California, in UK. And after that, after years later, she then met her mother, reunited with her mother again, and then she made a short film on her mother's life story, which stars Catherine Winnick. Yes, Catherine Winnick, the famed lead lady of Vikings series, playing her mother's role. Hello, everyone. Today I have with me India Dopre on the show. Welcome to the show, India.
thank you very much, AJ. And thank you for organizing everything and putting all this together and doing all that wonderful research.
Yeah, I literally got goosebumps when I researched about you and I saw all the things that are happening. I mean, you are really inspirational. That story of you also is really inspiration. Being on a farm and then suddenly being a top star, working your way out, and this is unimaginable. When 16 hours of hard work that you used to put on the labors, and it was totally different story. No one could imagine you would reach here. It's totally unbelievable, and that's the power women has. That's the power that women are born, and you are just a proper example where women can reach, even if they are not in the place at any stage, and they can just fight out, and God has given women that power. And you are just a proper example of it.
Thank you, AJ.
Great.
You very much.
So I'm really excited to have you, and we are going to talk on a lot of things. You've done a lot of work, and you've done a lot of work in 2 different industries, which lands in California and then in UK. So, firstly, we'll start with how your story got started. How this whole thing started. What's your actual story? You like shares your experience working in two different countries, and how did it shape your worldview and artistic expression?
Yes. Well, I really loved what you said in the introduction about how you really can bring yourself up from anywhere.
Yeah.
We after my mom got us back from this Australian institution of childcare, we really struggled to stay together. We lived in a tent
Yeah.
that we would fold up and put in a tent bag, and we would move every few weeks because you were only allowed to stay on the campsite for, I don't know, 6 weeks at a time or so. And so we
Hmm.
would move up the coast to another campsite, park there, go to the school near there, then move again, and we'd stay at the same school if we could, but if it was too far, we'd move. And we often didn't have any money or any food,
Hmm.
but somehow God always provided.
Yeah.
We would
Yeah.
find $20 on the street, and we would
Oh.
go get fish and chips, or
Yeah.
someone would give us something, or my mom would always come up with creative ways. Like, for
Yeah.
example, one time we were in the tent, and there was a club across the road from the campsite where they played
Hmm.
live music, and they
Hmm.
did fancy dress parties. And it was, I think it was Christmas Eve, and we had no money, and we had no idea of how we were going to eat the next day. And
Hmm.
my mom decided to go in the fancy dress competition to try to win some money, but she had no costumes. So
Okay.
we had like a little tree in our tent, just, a little branch to be a
Yeah.
Christmas tree. And my mom took two of the ribbons off the tree, that, like those ones you stick on a present, and she
Yeah.
put them on her breasts, and she tied a bow around her waist and around her bikini bottoms. And her costume was a Christmas present. And she went to the club and she wore this and she won. And
Wow.
she came home with a frozen turkey. But then we had nowhere to cook the turkey, so we went to the Surf Lifesaver Club at the beach the next day, and the lifesavers let us use their oven so we could cook
Wow.
the turkey, and we all ate the turkey. So that's how our life was. It was like there was always some miracle that came
Yeah.
to keep us
God was
together.
looking after you.
Yes, and to feed us. And sometimes the Hare Krishnas would come down the street, and
Oh.
yeah, and they would invite
Okay.
us to come
Okay.
and we would eat. And
Oh, good,
we would
good,
eat, and
good.
then we would leave. But they were very generous, and they let us eat. And so there was all different ways that and my mom would come up with bikini competitions at the beer
Yeah.
garden, and she'd get a little money. So it was always temporary, the money,
Mhm.
but we survived. So anyway,
Yeah, it was
when
more than
you
survival. It was more
yeah.
of survival things. I saw that picture that you told. I saw that article on Independent, and I saw that picture. Okay, so more often not winning that £100 or $100, it was about Christmas Eve and getting a turkey. So it was that story behind getting that winning that competition. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
So,
so we I guess what I'm trying to say is, for anybody listening to this story, is you can really come from anything and achieve your dreams.
yeah.
I'm still achieving my dreams, but you can start from zilch, zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And yeah, and I had a hard time at school. I was teased a lot, and I was bullied
Okay.
a lot. I was very skinny, just naturally very skinny. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we didn't eat a lot, but I was still really skinny. And so people would call me Ethiopia, and because my name was India, they would make fun of
Oh.
me, and they would stick pictures of Ethiopian girls with the big stomachs and put that there. And so it was a tough time, and of course people also
Yeah.
made fun of me because of the way my mom looked, because she was a sexy mom. Um, but once then so when you asked how I got there, when I was in school, I was in a music class, and I loved to sing
Mm-hmm.
because we were raised singing in the bathtub, and we moved
Yeah.
all the time, but singing was the one thing that really connected us. And I was in my school band, and we performed a song on stage by the Eurythmics, When Tomorrow
Okay.
Comes.
Okay.
And then my mom signed me up for this talent show,
Hmm.
TV,
Hmm.
which was really scary and embarrassing. But my friend and I from the school band, we went and sang the same song, and we got on this show, and
Yeah.
it was very exciting. And I guess I looked quite tall on the show,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Okay.
a model agency called after they saw it and asked me to start modeling. But when they saw that I was only 5'5", they had me do commercials instead, which was great because there was much more money in commercials. So
Got it. Yeah.
all of a sudden, I went from being this girl at school that was skinny,
To
you
a
know,
star.
not to a star, but
But yeah, you
I,
won it in your world. That was your world,
yeah,
and you won, and
yeah.
you became a star in your own world.
Well, I did 15 commercials in a row. I had a lot of,
Wow, that's
yeah,
that's
I
unbelievable.
had a lot of beginner's luck for sure. And in Australia, we only had 3 TV channels at the time. So
Mm-hmm.
I did 2 commercials for America, one for Coca-Cola and one for eggs. Well,
Okay.
I was so inexperienced, I didn't realize they were going to come out in Australia as well. And
Wow,
they came
that's
out
amazing.
on the same night in
Yeah.
Australia. So
Mm-hmm.
because we only had 3 channels, everybody saw them because they came
Yeah.
on. So then the next day when I went to school, everybody was coming up to me. And even my
Wow.
yeah, even
Wow. That's
my best friends at school didn't know I had done this because I didn't want them to
oh
think that I was conceited. So I just kept it a secret, thinking they're only going to come
yeah.
out in America.
Mm.
But then they were out there.
In
So
Australia too.
yeah, so
Yeah.
suddenly I had money. I could go to the
Oh yeah.
movies with my friends. I could go to buy lunch from the tuck shop at school and order a toasted cheese sandwich or whatever I wanted and not have to worry about money,
Money. Yeah. So that one thing's
and
also on.
yeah, so it really helped, and I gained a lot of independence. I
Yeah.
would go to auditions after school, and I'd get in a taxi, or I'd go on trains across Sydney,
Mm.
and and it was quite an exciting time,
Got it.
looking
Got it.
back. Yeah,
So
so
hold
that's how I
on.
got
Don't tell
started. Yeah.
everything. Don't tell
Okay.
everything in one
Okay.
question. We have got a lot
Okay.
of things.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so now we jump on. You are a very popular star on Spotify also. I've seen your music. You created a lot of things for Ukraine and all, but just coming to back to your musical background and what inspired, what's the theme and things behind your music. What's the thing, that one thing that sticks with you when it comes to music? What's your background in, consider as a musical background?
I think with music, my goal is to lift people and inspire people, and to find the goodness within everybody, to for us all to connect with that.
Okay.
That's what music meant for me growing up. It
Mm.
was a form of connection.
Lifting up.
Yeah, lifting up and connection. And when I was very little, we were Mormon,
Okay.
and so we would sing at the church, and then when my mom became what she became, this
Yeah.
sexy
Yeah.
kind of woman, we weren't allowed in the church anymore, and so
Oh.
instead we sang in the bathtubs, and uh, we often stayed at hotels.
Right. So there was a lot of pulling you down in the early phase of life, and that's where you got your music to lifting you up, and that lifting and that connection. That's where you started consuming music a lot, started believing in that a lot, and after you started believing in that, that's where the whole imbibing your music in your life happened, and that's how your own music came up. And you came up with a thought like, I want to uplift, I want to give hope, motivation, pull people up from what's happening, what bad things are happening with my music. And that's what the real background, and that's what the real power your music has today. So these are the things that pull you off, and that's make your music more stronger, because you believe that someone could be helped with this. I got it. Got it. Yeah, yeah, go on, go on.
I feel that, you know, when you are in a dire situation, when things are pretty
Yeah,
bad, if
really too
you
much.
if you stay with the bad, you become frozen and you can't move forward. So
Yeah,
you have
you
to,
pull yourself all the time. Yeah,
stay above water and stay
yeah,
positive and try to believe in the universe and believe that everything is meant to be and it's going to all work out. And
yeah,
so that's what I'm trying to do with the songs, is keep
yeah,
people like, it's okay, put one foot in front of the other, it's all going to
yeah,
work out. um,
yeah, got it.
and some songs also are about relationships, like,
Yeah,
I had a, a friend that kept going back to someone that wasn't the
yeah, we
greatest,
all
and
do, we all do.
yes. So I've written songs about that, and
Yeah,
lots of other things, but they all come from some kind of personal story. And my sister, who is named Saffron,
yeah,
because when
yeah,
my
yeah.
when my mum named me India, she thought what would go well with India, and she thought saffron.
Yeah, I mean,
And
like
my
your mom was like, just naming by the colors, naming by the countries. Like she got no time. She's like, okay, she's India. She said, what was the
yeah,
thought behind putting the saffron in India? I just want because I live in India, and I'm talking to
yes.
India, so
Well,
this is very different for me.
let me
What
get a
was?
picture.
Have you
I'll
ever
just
asked
I'll
your
just get a
mom?
picture. Hang on
Have
one
you
second.
ever
I'll be
asked
right
your
back.
mom?
Hang on. Hang
Okay, okay,
on. So my grandmother,
okay.
she was born in India,
Oh,
and
I
yeah.
can't see her by the way, but I'll
Okay.
get a picture of her
Yeah,
and put it.
that's my
Send me a
grandmother when
separate
she was,
picture.
yeah, that's my
Okay,
grandma
okay,
when she was
okay,
a little girl, and this is her
okay,
ayah,
okay.
and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
she was born in India, and
Okay.
her father was a tea merchant, and they lived in India, and then it got too hot for my grandma, and so they moved.
What time are we talking? 19 before independence of India? Like
I think it was probably
because
like,
you are from England, and England was
yeah.
ruling over, I guess,
Yeah, I would say
1947 till we got independence.
she was probably born about 1912, so around like,
Oh, yeah, that
yeah,
I guess you were
1915.
actually in India. Your grandparents were in India, and
Yeah,
India was ruled by England at that time. So yeah, I get it.
yeah, yeah.
Got it. So that's where you
And
got the name.
it's not actually where I got the name. It's just a
Okay, okay, no.
coincidence that she's from India. But
Okay.
my mom just always thought India was a very spiritual place.
Yeah,
So
it is. It is. No doubt.
she just always wanted to go there.
Hmm.
She's never been to India, but she always just thought it was a very
Okay.
spiritual place, so she named me India. Yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah.
that's the story.
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. Now it is a clear explanation where it comes from because I thought like, okay, why it's happening? Saffron
Yeah.
because we have flag color, saffron color as a prime color in our
Yes.
flag. So
Yes.
that's I thought like she is in total love with India. She is saffron,
So
white, green.
yeah. So anyway, what I was going to say about
Yeah,
Saffron,
yeah,
my sister, is
yeah.
she's always been a poet, and
Hmm.
when we were little girls, we would make cassette tapes for my grandma and granddad who lived in
Hmm.
Canada, and we would sing on them, and my sister would write songs back when we were
Wow,
little kids.
wow.
Yeah, blow me a strawberry kiss and all kinds of fun things. And so then a few years ago, my sister started sending me poems and lyrics, and then I would sit at the piano and I would put a song to them. So we
Okay,
started collaborating from Australia to Los Angeles, and it was very bonding for the two of us. And
okay.
so many of these songs on this new album, Believe, are written with my sister. And
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm coming on
so
that. I'm coming on that. I'm coming on
yeah.
that. So now tell me that particular moment. I'm jumping back on the part where you won that competition. You know, go with it something like Australian talent search for singers. You won it. And what was that time like? Was it just happening to you, or you were very focused? No, I have to win it. And what? Tell me that whole period. What transformation happened with you?
Well, I was 15, and
Okay.
I was with my friend, and we went on the show. I'll send you some pictures.
Yeah, sure,
And
sure.
and and it was just, I didn't think we would win. I didn't think we would win. And suddenly at the end of the show, they were counting up the points, and they
Hmm.
said that we'd won, and it was just like
Oh my God.
incredible. And then to get the agency as a result of being
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
show.
After what happened after that? Also tell us
Yeah.
that.
So then I went to this agent, and they told me they wanted photos of me with no makeup on.
Okay.
And I didn't wear much makeup because I was pretty much a hippie kid, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I started to go. I went on this first audition that was for Hershey bars in
Mm-hmm.
America,
Hmm.
and the next thing I knew, they took me from a crowd scene, and they made me one of the main people in the commercial, which was exciting. Um,
Wow, this
and
is
then
next level.
yeah, and that's one of the commercials that came out that first
Oh,
week too.
got it,
Yeah.
got it.
And
That
then
Coca-Cola commercial and that
yeah,
the other one.
Coke and the Hershey's and eggs, and
Oh, wow.
and then after that it just kept going. But I was so even though I said, you know, I made money, I was so
Mm-hmm.
not used to the business and shy. I didn't even know how to ask my agents for my pay. And so it was about 8 months later that a friend of my mom said, you need to call them and get
Yeah.
them to pay you. And they did. They gave me the big lump sum all at
Wow.
once, because I was too afraid to ask. And that part of that money is what I used to come to America.
Got it. Got it. So was that a thought? Like, am I getting paid for this? Was that a thought?
Well, they told me how much I would make, and at that
Wow.
time,
Okay,
you
they
know,
told you.
yeah, they told me, but I think they just kept it in the bank to earn some interest until
Oh,
I
got it.
requested it or something. Yeah.
Oh,
I
got it.
just
Got
was
it.
too
Got it.
inexperienced. But it was very
Yeah.
exciting, and everybody treated me very well, and I met a lot of people doing it, and sometimes
Yeah.
people would come up to me on the street and say, "Are you the girl in those
Mm,
commercials?" And I'd say,
yeah.
"Yes." Um and and so anyway, but
Awesome.
it was a wonderful feeling to
Wonderful,
sing.
wonderful. It's a life changing
Yeah.
moment. It is life changing. Getting
Yeah.
commercials, your whole life changed. After that particular bit, and that was meant to happen. I mean, I just want to know, like your thought process grew up after years of working, but was it the same when you're like in that zone of winning that competition at age of 15? Like things are going to happen. God is looking after you, or XYZ is happening, the spirituality. Was it there, or was it just happening? I don't know. I'm just living the next day.
No, I think I had big dreams. I was
Okay.
writing songs already at 15, and
Okay.
another thing happened that was also interesting is I had not seen my father in England since I was 4, and so when I was a teenager, I started writing to my dad, and
Oh.
we we met when I was 17, and then I also was doing the same thing like I'm doing with my sister now. I was sending my
Mhm.
dad lyrics, and he was writing the music, and we were writing songs. So that was a way for us to bond together as well.
Got it.
Um, but yeah, I think when I look back, I'm quite surprised at sometimes like the dreams I had as a teenager, the
Yeah,
things I wanted to do. I'm like, wow,
that actually
where
happened.
yeah, where is that confident girl? She's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, but
Got it.
I still have vision boards up in my office, and I still
Mm-hmm.
have dreams and many things I still want to achieve.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Also, one more thing I just want to know that now we come on your album Believe. That's the one thing, but we just missed on some topics, so that I wanted to cover. Now
Yes,
we come
sure.
on your topic, the Believe, that you just made it, and what inspired you to make this album? At the same time, how is it different from the previous ones? Like, is there any new
Well,
thing? What's happening?
well, when I sing on stage or in the studio, it feels like it's what I'm meant to do. It
Yeah.
feels easy, it feels natural, it makes me feel good. It makes me
Mm.
feel so good. So I write with other artists as well. And I was writing an album with this 18-year-old singer who's wonderful.
Okay.
And I managed to get a studio and a producer and everything to do that. And then I thought, well, would I be able to come in and record some of my songs? And so I started working with this producer. And I
Okay.
think at the time, my sister and I thought, well, we'll just try to get the songs to other artists to record because I'm
Mm-hmm.
older now, who wants to
Oh.
listen to me?
Oh.
So we
No. No.
kind
No.
of thought,
No. No.
so we thought, we'll just record them and try to get them to other people. But then more and more, all of a sudden, I have an album, and I'm proud of the songs, and
Yeah.
yes, it would be amazing if Pink or someone sang one of our songs, amazing.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I don't want to put them in a drawer and hope that that magical day will come. When I love to sing, why not get them out there? And maybe,
Yeah.
I meet a man named Ajay, and he spreads it throughout India. You never know.
Great.
you just
Great. Great.
you never know, so I just thought, well, this is something that is coming out of my body, out of my
Yeah.
soul. Why don't I release it to the universe and see what the universe does with it? And it's been very
Got.
wonderful. I'm really glad I did. Yeah.
So it is like when you decided that I am going with this ahead. Like, as an artist, we go through a lot of stuff. Not one single piece of art, like not 4 5 lines we write it, we push it down, we crap it out, and we throw it out in dustbin. So what was that moment? No, I'm going to do it. Do you remember that whole thing? Like, okay, I'm going to write this album, which is named as Believe. So what was that? Do you remember that moment when you thought of
Yeah,
going
I
with it?
think, well, I'm also making a documentary about my mom
Uh,
and my childhood and that story. And so I thought,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
I'd
yeah,
like
I
to,
saw that also.
yeah, I thought I'd like to record the songs that we grew up singing in the bath. And I thought if my sister was here, the three
Oh.
of us could sing together, but she's in Australia. So it was just me and my mom. And I thought, well, I'll just record a few songs with my mom, and those will just be for the documentary. But then I thought, well, I could put those songs with this album, Believe, and then all of a sudden it's a whole album.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was just making sure my sister was okay with me releasing the songs, and
Got it.
because I was blind writing to people in Nashville, hey, I have some
Mm.
songs, do you want to listen to it? And I wasn't getting any
Okay.
responses.
Okay.
So
Okay.
once she said, yeah, do it, then I felt like, okay, it's okay, I can do this. And yeah, so
Got it.
that's how
Got it.
it came about. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So your music has been described as barefoot, spiritual songs filled with distance, intimacy, and flowers. Can you elaborate on the themes and inspiration behind your music? More different. Like I get you. I get you. You told me at this moment also. But is there anything else that you want to add to the themes?
Yes, sure. Like, for example, there's this wonderful book called Where the Crawdads Sing. And I read the book, and as often happens, you get so involved in the book and the characters, and you don't want it to end. So
Yeah.
before I finished the book, I sat at the piano and I wrote a song as though I was this character in the book. And then
Mm-hmm.
as I would sleep, lyrics would come to me, and I would wake up
Oh,
and I would quickly
wow.
write them down. Yeah. And then the next I would know I was going into the studio on a Tuesday, and Monday night or Tuesday morning, I was changing the lyrics to improve them
Got it.
because
Got it.
things came in my dream, you know? And so that was a pure labor of love to make that song.
Yeah.
And so that's just one of the songs on the album that I was hoping people that had read the book might find the song and hear it. And if I had like a big music manager, perhaps they might have been able to get it to the movie. But the movie came out not long after I made the song. But
Got it. Yeah.
either way, so that's an example of some of the songs on the album are inspired by a book. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Now we come on the question where you collaborated with your mother. You know, your
Yes.
mother is featured singing on "Where Have All the Flowers Gone." How did that collaboration come about, and what was it like to work with your mother?
Well, when I go into the studio, I'm paying for the time, and as you
Yeah.
know, having a professional studio in India,
Yeah.
it costs money, and
Yes.
you try to have a good time and relax and enjoy it, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you want to leave at
Yeah.
the end of the day having recorded something,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. That's true.
so I asked my mom if she would come and sing. She was very excited to do it. I picked her up, and the first thing I see is she's ordered an iced coffee drink from Starbucks, which she's never
Okay.
had before. We were very much
Oh.
tea drinkers,
Oh.
and
Oh.
I know that ice and cream is not a good combination for your voice before you're gonna sing. But what can I say?
Wow.
She's already three-quarters
Oh
through
shit.
the drink. I'm like, oh gosh. And then I'm
Oh.
driving, and we're doing warm-ups together. And we get to the studio, and she
Yeah.
sings, and I have to kind of show her where to stand at the microphone because
Oh.
she's very good at singing live with bands, but she hasn't really
Okay. Okay.
recorded in studio. And then after like 3 songs, she said, well, I'm a bit hungry now. I think I'd like to go get a cheese sandwich. I'm like, no, mom, we're in the studio.
I'm
You can
paying
eat.
for every second.
Yes, you can eat later. We have to record.
Yeah.
So one
Got
of the
it.
songs, Amazing Grace, that's on the album, my mom originally was going to
Yeah.
sing on that, but she got too
Mhm.
hungry, so I just sang it on my own.
Oh.
So
Okay.
and every time I hear it, I say, remember, mom, you had to go eat, so
Yeah.
you're so hungry. She goes, oh, so peckish.
Oh
So,
shit.
yeah.
It's like you got her. You wanted to collaborate, and then she left just because she was hungry.
She didn't understand,
Oh shit.
that
Yeah,
yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
It's
But
your business. In the
yeah.
business we are in. Got it. Got it.
But
Okay. Okay.
I just did a live show last month, and my mom sang with me
Wow.
at the show, and she
She's
was
good at
very
live
good.
performances.
Oh yes,
She's
very
good. Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And she ate beforehand, so she was okay.
She knew
Yeah.
that live performance need energy. You can't
Yeah.
eat in the middle of performance.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
got it. Okay, okay. So now here we go. Your song "Don't Give Up" has helped people in Ukraine. Now we know that war was happening. That time, everyone was disturbed. So what is happening? What the hell is happening? And a lot of people like this is some kind of thing that have happened after World War III. You know, not like a major television thing, kind of thing. Like everyone knows about it. There was a lot of wars in Syria, but it was not that kind of appealing to every single person living on the planet. This is something like everyone is getting affected by what's happening in Russia and Ukraine. So you came up with the song "Don't Give Up." Uh, can you share the story behind that? What was
Yes.
happening?
Yeah. So, as you mentioned before, Catherine Winnick. So she's one of my best friends and has been for
Wow.
a long time, maybe like 20 years. And we,
Wait a minute. You're saying
we
you're friends from 20 years with Catherine Winnick?
20 years, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And
shit.
yeah, yeah. And we used
Okay.
to get together and we used to dream about our dreams. And she wanted to be on a TV show where she would get to kick butt because she had all these martial arts skills. And I wanted to
Yeah,
record
she's
an
like
album.
skilled maiden kind of thing.
Yeah,
She's yeah. Go on,
and
go on.
there was my friend Catherine, my friend Charlie, who's a girl, and myself, and we would get together and make vision boards and write out goals. And bit by bit, all of our dreams are coming true,
Wow.
especially hers. Hers all came true. I
Yeah.
mean, she had pictures. She had pictures of her on the red carpet in
Yeah.
Cannes, and she has done all of this. It's incredible. It's really
Yeah. Yeah.
she is so inspiring. Anyway, uh, so Catherine is from Ukraine. Her family are Ukrainian,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yes. Yes. I saw her post on Instagram.
yes, so she
From that time.
so when this happened in Ukraine, of course, it was devastating for her because she had just been there a few months earlier and had met
Okay.
with President Zelensky and his wife, and they had been so generous and kind to her, and she had such a great time in Ukraine. And then all of a sudden, this happened, and it was devastating.
Yeah.
So she is now a part of the I think it's called the UA23. It's an organization dedicated to raising money for Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
mostly
Mm-hmm.
so that Ukraine can rebuild.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
the goal is beyond this war of rebuilding the city. And
Yeah.
Catherine, in
It is.
particular, is focused on women and children. So the women and children of Ukraine helping each other, supporting each other, and rebuilding.
Got
And
it.
so she and I were chatting, and in a few weeks, she's going to Ukraine and she's going to meet with the foundation, and she's going to get footage to put to the music video of this song. And
Oh.
but the song is already out on
Oh,
Spotify,
it's already
I
out. Yeah.
yeah, and I've had a lot of people from Ukraine write to me and say thank you so much for making this song. And I said, how did you find it? And they said a friend sent it to me, and then another one said another friend sent it to them, and they would say, you know,
Oh.
I lost someone in Ukraine, or my brother is in Ukraine fighting, or you know. And so it just seemed to be
It's
inspiring to say, hey,
yeah.
just keep going, you're nearly there, it's
Yeah.
nearly,
Yeah.
hopefully it's nearly done, you know.
Yeah.
So
Like it's more of building it to normal than more of building hope inside their own heart firstly. So that's where this song comes in. I came to
yeah,
know, okay. Yeah, got
yeah,
it.
yeah.
it's
So
it's it
soon we will have a music video for it with
awesome,
footage
awesome. Just
of
update me whenever it is.
yeah.
I'll be happy to interview you whenever it's happening. So just message me and I'll be ready to do
Okay,
anything that you want. So
thank you,
yeah,
AJ.
that's it. And yeah, I didn't know that Catherine Winnick and you grew up like 20 years. I mean, like I am a big
Well,
fan of her.
here in Los Angeles, maybe 19 years, yeah. But
19 years.
she's wonderful, and she has just um, she just is a very generous friend to me. She
Good.
just for my
You are like a
birthday,
close friends, you're like besties, I
yeah.
guess. You
Mhm.
talking to each other, then you coming up with a song, you getting affected by what she's got getting troubling with. Like you can feel the pain, and all things happen only when you're too close to each other. You can feel her pain, come up with song, then she come up with video for helping people out. I mean, that's amazing, that's amazing. I love this bond, and I'm happy that you did this for people in Ukraine, and it worked, and it actually clicked for the people in Ukraine. They connected with the song. Got it. Now, can you talk like in short about what's your creative process of write as a singer songwriter? What's your creative process of writing song? How often you write in a day or in a week, a month? Like do you write in night times, in daytimes, or lock yourself in cabin like your friend Sandra El. She said, I want it to be locked in the room, and I don't want anyone coming near me for next weeks or so. So that's the dream. So okay, okay, what artist thing? It is totally different. What's your work process? Can you tell about it?
Yes. So with the album that I was writing with Tiffany Safari, the 18-year-old who's very talented,
Yeah.
that process would be, she would come to my studio. I have a piano over here, and
Awesome.
she would come and she would sit down and we would chat about her life, like what's happening in her relationship, someone's not getting back to her, how painful it was. And as she would talk, I would write down little things of what she was saying. And then
Okay.
I would start to put a melody to it. And I'd say, what do you think of this? And if she liked it, we would keep going. And we would basically make a song out of the experience that she was going through. And
Wow.
then, yes. And so we made a whole album, and that album is going to come out soon. So I was able to
Okay.
tap into her um, pain and or her happiness, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I was able to tap into her experience, and we collaborated together. And then she, as we did this more and more, she started to come up with more melodies and more runs and really cool
Yeah.
things. So anyway,
Mhm.
that's been very exciting.
So
But
that's your
generally,
process, like, in a way.
yeah, it's usually very personal. So then with the songs with my sister, she will send me
Hmm.
lyrics of her experiences, and then I'm tapping into that and adding my own to it. So like,
Oh,
I know what that feels like, and I can add
yeah.
to it.
Then
So
making it your own,
yeah, so
like
when my sister will
just
send
reconstructing.
lyrics, yeah, they're not exactly as she writes them. I will take one line from here, add some of mine,
Mm.
add another one, and it just becomes a glue of similar
Whole thing
experience.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Good.
and
Good.
then as you mentioned, Sandra Rostarola, I recently read her book, Making
Yeah.
Friends with Monsters, which was just such a great book. And as I was finishing that book, I went to the piano and started writing a
Oh.
song. And and I still can hear it in my head. And I haven't finished the song. And that's the
Okay.
only bad thing about
Does
me.
she know
It's
that? Does she know that you're writing a song?
I think I
She'd be
might have
very
mentioned it.
excited.
Yeah, I
She'd
mentioned
be
a
very
little bit.
excited.
But of course, then I need to go to the studio and have to book the studio time
Okay. Good.
to actually record it. But at least I've written, I would say half of it. And I remember hearing that the Beatles would say that if you're on a roll, you should keep going and finish it as much as you
Yeah.
can, because
Yeah.
it's hard to
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
back into that world.
Got
But
it.
this one,
Yeah.
I can really see the boy in the book, and I see him through this
Mm,
song.
yeah.
So I really I have that song and several others that are really
Got
in
it.
my
Got it.
heart
Got it.
that I have to come
So
up with the
this is
money
unique. This
to
is
go record.
this is
Yeah.
this is unique. Unique. One thing I loved about you, your core is all about singer songwriter, not more model, not more an actress or filmmaker. What you're in core more, I guess, maximum percentage is of singer, because this process is really unique. I mean, like, this is how every artist think in their, which is their core part. Maybe they are actor, maybe they're director, maybe a filmmaker. That core part is all about what they are looking forward to be as. Your process of reading something, reading Sandra's book, and that whole thing stays inside you. Just go to piano and then come up with something new. And that's how your all albums happen, I guess. This
Yeah.
is the process. Like, even if we talked, you can come up with some different song, right?
Yeah.
Something clicks you and you just come up with words. You just need the keywords, and you come up with the pain inside you, and the pain in that particular paragraph, combine it, put it in the piano, and then you come up with the whole album. Wow, that's great. That is
Thank you.
absolutely amazing. This
It's you know, sometimes it comes so easily that you think the song must not be very good because it came too easy.
Oh,
And
oh,
then
yeah, yeah.
and then I just recorded a new one that I wrote on my ukulele. My
Okay.
sister sent me some lyrics, and I wrote it on the ukulele, and it sounded like, it's just too simple, just too simple, too easy. But this is the one that got the most attention at the live show I
Okay.
did.
Got it, got it.
So you never know.
Awesome.
You have to just do what comes out of you.
What comes
Yeah.
out of it. You got it. Now we jump on your, what's the next thing is, yes, working on your acting. You work, I saw it for a film, short film on IMDb. When you click on India Do Pre IMDb, there's short film trailer playing there. And can you tell us about your experience of acting professionally in both LA and
Yes.
London, and how do the two industries differ from each other?
Yes. So my dream was I always wanted to act, and I really loved
Wow.
acting in a similar way with the singing. It's like something creative.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
I
Get
really
it.
enjoyed doing accents,
Being
and
core creative and then
yeah,
everything else.
yeah, I
Got
really enjoy being a different person, speaking with a different voice and having a different kind of persona,
Wow.
or being
That
from the
that's the little
north.
girl talking. That's the little girl talking. That's the
Yeah,
little girl. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. The 15-year-old is talking now.
yes, yes. So like I could completely change my posture and everything. And like, for example, I did a video game and I played a woman from the north, and it was like, what are you doing? Why are you looking at me like that? And so
Oh,
you get into a different. It's really fun, but acting, it's tough. It's tough to get the
yeah.
job. So singing
Get the
was
job
something.
is yeah.
Yeah, singing was something I didn't need anyone to give me a job to do it. I could just
Yeah.
go sing at my piano or my keyboard or with my guitar and write the song, and it didn't matter if someone was saying yes or no. And
Yeah.
acting, it really is one of those things you just have to keep going. And
Oh,
my friends that have kept going even when it's like this,
we
those are
got
the
Catherine
ones you
Winnick.
yeah, these are the ones you start to see on shows. And so recently I was like, okay, I went to acting school. I went to UCLA theater department. I spent
Yeah, you
many
did it.
years, and I thought I'm gonna give it another go. So I just recently got an acting agent again, and
Wow.
I
Awesome.
yes, and I started to have some auditions. I've only had 3, but the
Mm.
third, the second one I got put on hold for, which was so exciting, but then I didn't get it. But
Oh,
it's
not
okay.
not
It
problem.
just
You
shows
get
that,
it. You get it. No problem.
hey, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll keep trying. It's fun to
It
try,
keeps on happening. It keeps on happening.
Yeah, and it's fun because every time you have an audition, it's a different part, and it's a different dress to put on or a different look. And my husband films me, and it's really fun. It's fun to
Wow.
do it together, and then you send it off and you give it to the universe, and you see what happens.
Awesome, awesome. I,
Yeah.
I love that part. You actually completed the full course of UCLA and a lot of short films, a lot of films, worked with a lot of artists. And then at the end of the day, you were course singer. So singing is where you don't need anyone's permission or you don't need anyone approval to do this thing because you love it and you got opportunity because now Spotify and all this distribution globally is free. So you can reach out directly to the public and you don't need any studio signing you up to do this thing. And that's where you grow. Actually, that's where you get a chance to express yourself. Awesome. I really love that part. And anything comes up with your films, upcoming films, anything, just let me know. We can do something with that also, where we can talk on that film. What were you thinking?
And I
What
have to say, you're very good at interviewing. Thank you, AJ. You make me feel very comfortable, and
Oh, awesome.
you're very wonderful at making someone feel interesting. You make me feel like I'm interesting. So thank you.
You featured the thing that we talked about, Austin Powers film, Goldmember. You said that it was long time back, but I saw it on IMDb. It was happening, so I just got confused. But can you share the experience on working with Austin Power
Yeah.
and the film, whole Goldmember, like set experience?
Yes. So it was very exciting. So basically, when I was very young, I auditioned to be a go-go dancer in the first Austin Powers, and
Okay.
I was in the first one.
Okay.
I would have to point out me so you can see, oh, that's me. But yes, I was a go-go dancer in the first one. It was
Okay.
really fun because I love dancing 1960s and that kind of vibe. Basically, in the third one, there was a much longer scene, but it got cut. And I didn't
Okay.
know until I saw the film. It was so sad,
Oh.
but you can still see me in it. So basically, what happens is Austin comes to the bar and he's trying to chat up me and another girl.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but his teeth are really bad. And and we're looking in the mirror at lipstick, and then we see his teeth, and we're both like, and Beyonce was singing on the stage. This was before she was, I mean, she was still Beyonce, but she was more like Destiny's Child at that time, and she was
Okay.
wonderful.
Okay.
And there was all these people on roller skates, and it was so exciting. But then all of it got cut. Just a tiny bit remains in the film. So
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'll send
But
you
the
a
whole
picture.
experience
So
was, yeah, yeah.
it
Send me,
was
send me.
so much fun. Yeah,
Okay.
it
I'll
was
just
so
add
fun
those
to be.
pictures.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very fun to be on the set, and everybody was excited, and everybody had amazing costumes, and you'd be standing next uh, to Austin Powers, and then all of a sudden he would drop his English accent and start speaking with his normal American accent,
Yeah.
and then get back into character, and
Oh.
yeah, and I think it was. Charlize. Wake up, India. I can't think of her name right now. Sorry. But anyway,
You did it in
it's
front of you.
Cameron Diaz. She had a cameo
Oh,
in it.
Cameron
And that,
Diaz.
yeah, but that got cut too. That got cut
Oh,
too. So it was really
okay.
crazy. Yeah, but she was there as well, and she's just wonderful and bright and beautiful. So
Got
anyway,
it.
it was very exciting.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. These are kind of things, these things don't justify what will happen in the career, but these things are really core that, okay, this is happening. And these things are, okay, I can't believe this is happening. So,
Yes.
not getting recorded on reel or camera, that was not the thing actually, when you consider the whole thing in your career.
Yeah.
But the thing actually happened in that 24 hours or 16, 17 hours, that experience that you got, that was real magic that happened.
Oh
And
yes.
that stayed with you still today, that real
Yes.
people were going to forget it after like even 28 months or 15
Yeah.
months. But this
Yeah.
thing that stayed with you, that whole experience, that still enlightenment, still is fresh. I can see it happening in
Yeah.
my own, in front of my eyes. So that is great. And these are kind of experience that everyone remembers and happens in every person, like somewhere around, that makes a difference. Great to hear that.
And
Also,
one
yeah.
thing too, when there was the wrap party, when the film finished,
Hmm.
we were at the wrap party and Beyonce was there and she was just wearing jeans and she was super kind and humble
Hmm.
and kind of like my height. I'm like,
Oh.
that's kind of cool. She just looked like a normal
Normal,
person.
normal. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because she wasn't all dressed up and she was just so humble and sweet. And anyway, good for
wow.
her. What a career she's had. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So you working from like very long time with top artists, having them around you, any sort of phase. This is kind of motivation you get it. Getting to work with all those, and then you becoming someone, then you inspiring some other people to be like you. This is really inspiring thing. So what's next? What's happening? What's the future plan? What are the future projects? Spotify, anything coming on Spotify, or any films, any show, anything? Please tell.
So next will be the Don't Give Up with the Ukraine video. So that's
Yeah,
exciting.
that's a
And
video.
then
Video is coming up.
yes, and
Yeah, got
then
it.
the two new songs that I just finished recording. One of them is called High Five, and I
Mhm.
wrote it for my friend's film. So they
Okay.
are making a film, and they needed a song that was anthemic for these women
Okay.
to sing.
Hmm.
So I wrote the song and they really love it. So hopefully that film will
Awesome.
get made and the song will
Okay.
be in there. But either way, it was a great song to write because it's about loving your body and how we're
Hmm.
always so critical of our bodies, but our bodies are
Yeah.
our bodies. Their
Body
bodies are our
shaming, I
bodies.
guess,
Yeah.
on that topic particularly. Is that
Yeah.
body shaming featuring something kind of thing?
Yeah, but it's basically about saying
Loving.
you're my body. You're with me from the
Yeah.
beginning to the end, and
Hmm.
you're there through thick or thin. You listen. You pick me up every day, and so it's a song about loving yourself and hugging yourself. And anyway, so that's called High Five. It hasn't been released yet, and then there's a new song called What Would Dolly Do, which I wrote with my sister, and it's about Dolly Parton and it's about the positivity and joy she brings to the world. And when you're in a bad situation, think, what would Dolly do? So that's just kind of a fun, happy song.
Here is the last thing I just want to know. As a 15-year-old, to now at the stage that you are, any woman who's now looking up to be a singer, songwriter, artist, filmmaker, writer, director, anything, what kind of advice you'd like to give to that aspiring, coming from nowhere? What advice you'd like to give to them?
I I remember hearing things when I was younger, like if you really put your mind to something, you can really make it happen. And I really believe it's true. So there's this wonderful book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. And I know that Michael Jackson really liked this book. And he gave it to a friend of his who gave it to me. And it talked about when you really want something, you plant the seeds. You plant the seeds in the ground and you can't pull up the seeds and check and see if they're growing. You just plant them and you water them and give them sun and you let things grow. And your subconscious mind, you are the captain of it. So if you tell your mind, I love to sing, people love to hear me sing, my songs are helping people, I am giving to the world. Your subconscious and your soul hear this instruction and they make it happen. It does the same thing if you say, I'm too old, No one wants to listen to me. I should just be a teacher. The subconscious
Okay.
mind hears this and says, okay, that's what we'll do. So whatever you plant, your soul and your brain and the universe makes it come to life. So whenever you say something negative about yourself, you have to say three positive things to overcome it. You know, like, oh
It's like
God,
positive affirmations.
yeah, positive affirmations, but really being very specific. So that's
Hmm.
why I said Catherine, Charlie, and myself, we would make these vision boards and very
Oh,
specific
yeah.
images, and they're coming true. They keep coming
Got it.
true, and I would put a big tick mark next to them when they come true, so that you're telling the universe, I see you doing
Hmm.
what we decided, and it's happening.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would
Subconscious
say
mind.
to, yeah, I would say to someone, it doesn't matter.
Visualization,
Yeah,
visualization. That power.
visualization.
That's a power.
And I think if your visualizations are coming from a positive place to help the world, why wouldn't they come true? You know, what that's only going to help the world. So it's a good thing to do and a good message. And it, you know, get, you're giving, you want to, everybody wants to leave this planet knowing they did something good,
Did
or they
something.
let,
Yeah.
yeah, they left something behind that can be remembered. So what is your gift to give to this world? And and do your very best to make it happen, and sometimes it happens.
Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah,
happens a lot of times.
yeah,
It's like consistently you have to do it, and then you have to take actions at the same time
yes,
to make it happen. Any sort
yes.
of way, you have to just go out and take actions. To all the songwriters, upcoming artists, anyone who's listening to this, this woman who is sitting in front of me, she has came from nowhere to the position that she is now ruling the world she is in. And she has achieved so much that even I got goosebumps when, okay, what's happening? I can't believe I'm interviewing this woman today. I can't believe this woman had this kind of childhood at age of 4 to 15, and then something else happened, and then things kept on changing. I don't know how I would react when I got seized from my own parents. If I were to move from one place to another, I can't even imagine how would I react to be forcefully put into a farm and then to go out and work for 18 hours, and then have no possibility of meeting my parents, and nothing knowing what would happen, what's going to happen next day, and then thinking of like I'm going to win in this world, be a star, and it happened. So if she can do it, and if she can still think it, and if these two brothers and sisters, two sisters and one brother can make it happen, and then reach a world where it's everything out of their own mind, when they can imagine, and what can they imagine at age of 5, and that's true and now it's happening and it's normal for them. So if this can happen, then if your story is not even close to this, it's going to happen. You just have to put that effort every single day. Thank you for
Thank you, AJ. Well, I
thank
just want to say too that AJ, you know, my friend Sandra, she did an interview with you, and she said to me, "This guy, he's just amazing."
Yeah.
And she's right. She is right, and we will talk tomorrow, and I will thank her for referring me to you, and I will say he's everything you said. He's just a real magical person who's really making things happen. So thank you
Yeah.
for allowing me to be on your show, AJ.
I'm, I'm,
And thank
I'm yeah, yeah. I'm really happy that this happened and you came on the show. Are you crying or what's happening?
no, no, I'm not crying. I'm just very. It's just very late.
Ah,
It's
okay.
very
Oh,
late,
yeah. I,
but
I I
it's
completely
okay.
forgot. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, no,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
It's okay. I'm awake now. I'm okay. I'm good.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I guess LA people in LA sleep very early. Like Sandra is like, hey, 9 p.m. I'm sleeping.
Yeah,
Hello. What?
because we get up so early to write, and
Okay. So this
that's
is
just
totally different.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you are also the same. Like 9 a.m. is low. 9 p.m. too late. I'm sleeping. I'm not coming on. Oh man. Oh, like what is happening? I just eat my food at 9 p.m., 9:30 or kind of thing.
Yeah, no, we
Okay.
over here because you know that there's this early morning hours is the only time when everyone's asleep and you can get things done.
Yeah.
And
Okay. So
then
that's your whole
yeah,
thing. I
and
worked
then
in people. Yeah. 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 And you. Yeah. Go on.
no, I was gonna say, and then at night my husband is gaming and
Oh.
having
Okay.
fun, so I'm asleep, and then he sleeps in because he went to bed so late, and then
Oh
so
yeah.
yeah, so then
Just trying to
so
manage things out.
yeah.
But thank you for taking out time. I mean, you
Oh,
are
of
taking like
course.
1 or 2 hour. It's totally different thing, and that's why I want to make like you would love that you spent time with me and you extended that 1 hour of sleep for me. So I just wanted that you would love
Yeah.
this thing. Like, this is the best thing that happened to me when I skipped the sleep. So that was the whole thing. Thank you. Also, I will also be mentioning, so to all the listeners, make sure you go and check out the description where all the social media links and handles of India Dupre is mentioned. I'm also going to go make sure you check out the Spotify. Now this is a Spotify video interview. Go check out, type India Dupre, and you are going to find out all her music. Just go follow her on Spotify, follow her on Instagram, Facebook,
Thank
wherever she
you.
is. Just go and follow her. Make sure you go and check the show description. I'm going to link all this if you're not going to find out. She is majorly by name India Dupre on Instagram and everywhere. You can just Google the name and you'll find everything else. She is a multi-talented person, and today I had pleasure to talk to you and interview you. So thank you for everything. Also, make sure you go and check the stories. This is Ajay Tambe signing off.